I have 4 passports. I have the Swiss, French, Canadian, American passport. And growing up, we spoke French at home. My mom is from Switzerland. My dad is from Canada. I was born in the US, and I have French citizenship because my mom has French citizenship from my grandma. And so growing up was a little bit different because in front of all my friends and everything, my mom would only speak French to us in front of everyone. And so I was always kind of considered as the French kid, but then I would tell people, no, I'm Swiss. I'm Swiss first, but it was a little bit different because a few of the social interactions and social practices are a little bit different in Europe, and so maybe like people coming over to our house was a little bit different. It was a lot more formal, I would say, which is a trend you see in Europe, formal interactions between people, even if you are close friends. I think growing up I had a more worldview perspective on a lot of topics and a lot of relationships internationally, and I think that really having personal ties from different countries around the world, especially in Europe, made me see things a little bit more broadly than a lot of people only in the United States would see things as. I'm studying international relationships right now, international affairs, and I really enjoy what I'm doing because it's really interesting to see how social structures and social aspects of different countries really interact with each other, and how conflicts are brought up, or how different societies are able to work around and work together on different topics. And I think that I have a personal relationship with that because I'm able to identify with different countries and then identify with the United States also, having grown up here. And so I also studied, I took a course on Middle Eastern politics, and it's really interesting to see how the different historical and social maybe themes or trends play into how a lot of these relationships are created or not created. And a lot of people, especially who only have a United States worldview, don't really understand the history or social constructs that come out of historical or different like aspects like natural resource situations in different countries, and how really everything in a country manifests itself and becomes part of the reality of that country, and then how then they have to go out into the international realm to interact with different societies. And I think that's really interesting, and I enjoy studying international affairs because of that. I studied in Spain in the spring of 2023 through Lewis and Clark, through the study abroad program, and it was really interesting being in Granada in southern Spain. There's a lot of really interesting culture that comes from the history and the Arabic and then Roman history that a lot of people don't really know about in this really small corner of the world. And it was really interesting, really being immersed in this culture and really getting to know these people, living with a host family, taking courses from Spanish professors at a Spanish university. So with international affairs, when I graduate from Lewis and Clark, I am leaning towards attending law school. I think for me personally and what I want to do in the future, it makes sense to go to law school, and I don't have the end goal of coming out a defense attorney lawyer, but I think I can use law school in a lot of different ways in my life and in the future for really any job I end up doing. And yeah, so if that means studying international law, or if I find a different route, but you really can use it for a lot of things, I think. And if I have the opportunity to, I think it's a really high level of education that I do want to accomplish.